Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark. We are just over 1 week away from the MLB trade deadline. Today I'm going to rank the top 10 players I think will be traded in the order of their importance and their impact on their new team. Number 10, Seth Lugo of the Kansas City Royals. Seth Lugo is a quality innings eater. I think you're really comfortable with him in the back end of your rotation. He's a crafty veteran that helps you get through the season. Do you want Lugo pitching in a playoff game? I'm not sure about that, but at this stage of his career, he can certainly help almost any contender. Lugo is 35 years old and does have a $15 million player option he can choose to invoke at season's end. I wouldn't be shocked if Lugo could net a multi-year deal in the open market, but at his age and with his advanced stats, I think there's a pretty good chance Lugo will activate that player option for 2026. The Royals are 49-52. While they may have playoff aspirations for next season, I can see them wanting to get out of this $15 million commitment as they're not normally one of those higher payroll teams in baseball. My prediction is the San Diego Padres will acquire Seth Lugo. Number 9, Ryan O'Hearn of the Baltimore Orioles. O'Hearn has been a popular name this deadline season, and it makes all the sense in the world why. 32 years old, somewhat of a journeyman, but has found success the last few years in Baltimore. O'Hearn looks to be a strong side platoon bat to help a contender versus right-handed pitching. I think O'Hearn's power is a little bit underwhelming for a first base/DH stick, but the OPS is over 820 for the season. With the Orioles 11 games under 500 and their playoff hopes basically dead, I think O'Hearn is a lock to be traded. My prediction is the Seattle Mariners will trade for Ryan O'Hearn. Player number 8, Luis Robert of the Chicago White Sox. Oh, Robert is quite a tricky case, isn't he? Back in 2023, Luis Robert looked like one of the best young rising stars in the sport when he hit .264 with 38 home runs and stole 20 bases with an .857 OPS. Then in 2024, Robert hit .224 and he's currently batting .206 in 2025. Robert has also dealt with a wide margin of injuries over these last 2 years. We all know that Robert clearly has talent, and getting away from the mess that is the Chicago White Sox could certainly help him get back on track. But I'm not sure if any team knows what they're getting in this lottery ticket that is Luis Robert. My prediction is the New York Mets acquire Luis Robert. Player number 7, Edward Cabrera of the Miami Marlins. Cabrera has always had immense talent and has showed flashes throughout multiple stints with the Marlins, but this year, Cabrera is throwing strikes more and finding consistency. Cabrera is 27 years old. He has a 3.61 ERA in 82 1/3 innings while striking out 86 batters. Cabrera does have 3 years of club control remaining, but he is entering arbitration too, so he will start to get more expensive, which could motivate the Marlins to cash out one of their more valuable assets. The recent wrinkle here with Cabrera is he recently left a game with elbow discomfort. The MRI did clear Cabrera of any major injuries, but he's going to have to get on the mound and prove he's healthy before the trade deadline if he wants to be moved. My prediction is the Chicago Cubs trade for Edward Cabrera. Player number 6, Griffin Jax of the Minnesota Twins. I'm not totally convinced the Twins are going to trade Jax, but it feels like they probably should. There's been some pushback to the idea of the Twins selling, but they're 48-52. And to me at least, it does not seem like things are going to be turned around anytime soon. I do expect them to hold on to their stars like Buxton, Joe Ryan, and Joan Duran, but Jax has 2 more years of club control after 2025 and could be a valuable asset. With the extreme need for high-end relievers, this feels like the kind of move the Twins should make. Jax's ERA is 3.83, but that's also a little bit deceiving. His advanced stats and expected ERA are much better than that, and he has 67 strikeouts in 42 1/3 innings. My prediction is the Los Angeles Dodgers trade for Griffin Jax. Player number 5, David Bednar of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Bednar had a rocky start to the year, including a short demotion to the minor leagues, but in his last 28 innings, Bednar has a 1.61 ERA, a sub-1 whip, and 38 strikeouts in those 28 innings. Bednar also has 1 additional year of club control after 2025, so he's not just a rental. Bednar also has tons of closing experience and will surely help any contending team in a high-leverage spot or just serving as that team's closer. My prediction is the New York Mets trade for David Bednar. Player number 4, Josh Naylor of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Josh Naylor is a really solid hitter. He has a .290 expected batting average and an elite 12% strikeout rate. Naylor hit 31 home runs with Cleveland in 2024. He hasn't showed that kind of power so far with Arizona, but he is batting .293 with an .814 OPS. Naylor also has a lot of middle-of-the-lineup pedigree and experience batting in the 3 and the 4 spot in different lineups. Josh Naylor is 28 years old and a free agent at the end of the year. With the relative lack of difference-making bats and the Diamondbacks looking to sell, I think we should see Naylor on the move. My prediction is the Milwaukee Brewers trade for Josh Naylor. Player number 3, Mitch Keller of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mitch Keller is a solid arm, but I think the Pirates have an opportunity here to get a really awesome return because of supply and demand. When the hottest names in the starting pitcher market are Mitch Keller, Seth Lugo, Edward Cabrera, Zach Gallen, and Merrill Kelly, the Pirates should feel like they're in a pretty good spot here. Keller is a strike-throwing ground ball specialist. He's not a high ceiling guy, but he is a high floor pitcher who consistently stays on the field and eats innings. I think in a perfect world, you want Keller as your 3 or 4 starter come playoffs, but he has a 3.48 ERA at the time of this recording, so that is certainly impressive. My prediction is the New York Yankees trade for Mitch Keller. Player number 2, Ryan Helsley of the St. Louis Cardinals. Helsley was one of, if not the best closer in baseball in 2024. While he has not been as elite in 2025, he still has a 3.18 ERA, throws very hard, and gets a lot of swing and miss. The Cardinals are still hanging on to some wild card hopes, but with Helsley in a contract year and no signs of an extension coming, I think this is probably a move they have to make. As I said with both David Bednar and Griffin Jax, every contender is in need of a high leverage reliever, and there are only so many to go around. The Cardinals should recognize they need to trade one of, if not the best available reliever, and capitalize on the return here. My prediction is the Phillies trade for Ryan Helsley. And the number 1 player I expect to be traded is Eugenio Suarez of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Suarez has been a prolific power hitter his whole career, but he seems to be on a whole different level this year. He's having just a ridiculous season. He leads the National League with 36 home runs and 86 RBIs. Suarez is in a contract year, so he is both positioning himself for a nice payday and for a departure off the Diamondbacks roster. It's always scary to acquire a streaky power hitter because you're taking on so much risk that if the player goes cold in October when you need him most, he is basically useless. But with multiple contenders in need of a third baseman, I think the Diamondbacks will do really well with the return here. My prediction is the New York Yankees trade for Eugenio Suarez. And that's the video. Those are the 10 players I think will be traded by next week's trade deadline. If you like this video, please hit subscribe. Hopefully everyone has a great day, and thank you so much for watching.